What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What's up, family? On today's podcast, I want to talk about getting fired. I can actually say I've never gotten fired. I've come close to it, but I've always managed, let me knock on wood, I've always managed to recover. But I want to just, share some firing stories, also some tips on what you should do if you get fired. Obviously every state is different. You have your, at will, your employer can decide, but there are some things you could do if this happens to you. And I want to share some stories. So let's get started here.
Okay, TikTok, you want to talk about explaining why you got fired. You know what? Lots of people get fired. I tell people that I don't believe there are bad employees or bad employers. I mean, there are some, of course, but most of the time it's just a bad fit. And so when an employer lets you go, they don't think it's a fit anymore. And it's really important that you process your emotions around being fired, because until you can work through that, it's going to be difficult for you to interview. You're going to get uncomfortable when you get asked this question. So one of the techniques, we have a class called Fired to Hired at my company, and one of the techniques we teach is experience plus learns equals grow. And we help people write out how they respond to this by saying, here's what happened, here's the events that led up to me getting fired, here's what I'm going to take accountability for, here's what I learned I shouldn't have done, or here's what I would have done differently next time, and here's how I'm going to make sure that this never happens again going forward. When you can explain that, you show that you really can learn even in the most difficult situations, and that shows character, and employers will trust you a lot more with that honesty.
Listen, I wouldn't even put it on my resume or my application. I mean, some of y'all are too honest. I don't think I'd put it on there, but I don't know. Let's go to the next one.
Think you're getting set up because you're going to get fired? You probably are. And there's a couple ways to handle it. You could either run at it and see if you can change it, but if you really think that this is going to happen, there's a way for you to walk away with a severance. I want to give you a potential script that you can use, an approach you can take to help you land on your feet. Remember, if they want you out, they're just trying to check through the boxes as fast as possible so that they can move forward. And it's a pain to them. So you're going to play upon that, I can see the writing on the wall here, and it doesn't feel like this position is going to work out. I certainly don't feel like you are happy with my performance. I want to propose something that could maybe serve both of us. I really need to find another job as quickly as possible if that's where this is headed. I would propose that you pay me a 4-week severance or keep me on the payroll for 4 weeks while I look for a job but have no other job. And you can start looking for my replacement. Happy to train them if necessary, but this way I can move forward and really find the next opportunity for me, and you can move forward at the same time, and both of us get what we need out of it. There's obviously some nuances, and the more senior you are, the more things I'm going to throw in about non-compete and things, but if you need help with this, you can always reach out in my profile. I help people with this all day long.
Seems interesting that you can say, I think you are going to fire me, but give me 4 weeks. I don't know. If you're close to getting fired, I don't know. Try it. It might work.
Why you should never fire someone over the phone. Employers can fire people however they want, whether it's via email, text message, or even writing it on a piece of paper. The only catch is that your employer must provide you with your paycheck within 24 hours, otherwise they can get fined. If you don't get your paycheck, you can sue.
So remember that, guys. So let's get into some stories of why people got fired.
Tell me about a time that you got fired from your job for an actual good reason.
When I was 18, I worked at a Hollywood video in a small college town in Utah. I used to forgive hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars in late fees a day. People would literally cry for me forgiving their late fees. That's how much debt they had. Once the managers forced me to stay late and had me do inventory with them. That's when I realized we were coming in thousands of dollars under our theft budget because we lived in Utah and no one was stealing in this small town. That's when I realized I gotta start stealing these DVDs. So I started stealing thousands of dollars worth of DVDs a month and I became a DVD kingpin. I was selling DVDs to college kids and anyone who wanted them for way under market value. It spiraled so far out of control, I had women money. I was the Scarface of DVDs. My Hollywood video was trying to go undercover to catch me. They fired me for a dress code violation, but at that point, they knew.
He's lucky he didn't go to jail, but those late fees, those things suck. And I am like, how did we never get to sue Blockbuster for their late fees? Like, the late fees was out of control. And then they went bankrupt. And all these people that I know I paid some late fees from having kids and renting video games. And how did we never, where's the lawsuit that we comp this back? Like, come on. Let's get into another story.
Tell me about a time that you got fired from your job for an actual good reason.
I've been fired so many times. It's usually not my fault, but sometimes it is. I work for this company right out of college called Plum Direct Marketing. What a scam. They're an awful company, and that's why I'm saying their name. Sorry, Peter. All the employees in that company use this program called Slack to communicate with each other. It's kind of like an instant messenger. I don't know. So I was messaging one of my coworkers about how much we hated our boss. My coworker, she called out for the 9th time that month. So they went into her office to start her computer to get an important file for a client. When they turned on her computer, Slack popped up and they saw all of our messages. I come into work and I clock in. My boss swings into my doorway and she's like, Zach, I saw what you said about me. What am I supposed to do? I can't lie. You read it. I said, I'm sorry you had to read that, girl, but it's true. You are a terrible boss. You eat way too much grapefruit, and I don't know why you're cutting your fingernails at work. That's disgusting. So I start packing up my stuff because I'm obviously being fired. She's crying at her desk, and then she's being rude to me, and I was like, don't play the victim, sweetie, okay? At the end of the day, you got paid, and you didn't work, and I did, so it's so bad.
Be careful with those company communications. Just text. Don't use company communications to talk bad about somebody. It's a very dangerous game. Let's get into our next story.
Quick story time. So I do drywall, cue all this stuff. Well, today it was 9:30 and I get a text from my dad. Hey, are you busy? My dad would do anything for me. Go anywhere, any time of the day. You drive to China for me. Well, I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I'm at work, but why? He said, no, never mind. I said, no, Dad, tell me why. Well, he's like, oh, I got a flat tire and I'm 5.7 miles away from a gas station. He's like, but I can walk. That's a man right there. That's a fucking man. Well, I'm like, no, Dad, I could get fired right now. I'm coming. You ain't walking. You sit in your car. I'm on my way with the air pump. Here we go, people. Let's go get it. But I don't have a job anymore, so drop a like for me to make me some money.
I'm wondering if he could have had his boss work with him on that. Next story.
Surprise went wrong for one person. You might remember our story last week about a large group leaving a $4,400 tip for 2 servers in Bentonville. Well, now one of those waitresses says she was fired over the whole thing. Fox 24's Will Mulclay reports.
So we are tipping a total of $4,000.
Friday, Ryan Brandt was one of 2 servers waiting on a party of more than 30 people at Oven and Tap in Bentonville. When it came time to pay the bill, each person left a $100 tip for a collective $4,400 for the 2 waitresses.
It was an incredible thing to be able to do, to see the server's reaction and to know what that meant for her and the impact it's had on her life already.
Grant Wise owns the real estate company Whitley. He called ahead to the restaurant to ask about their tipping policy to make sure everything would go smoothly, but he says things things didn't go according to plan.
I was to give my cash over to my shift manager to be taken, and then that I was going to be taking home 20%.
Brandt says the restaurant asked her to share the tip with her coworkers, something she says has never happened in the 3.5 years she worked at Oven and Tap. Wise says pooling tips for those who didn't wait on his party was not his intention. He asked the restaurant to return the gratuity and gave the cash to Brandt outside.
Well, at least he did that, because, I mean, that's kind of messed up. I know, like, if I tip somebody, I want it to go to the person that did the work. Obviously, someone is preparing the food, you know, and you should give a portion to the chef, I feel like. But, like, everybody, no. And the owner, I mean, I don't know. That stuff is always, like, tipping is a slippery slope. You think you're doing a good thing, and, yeah. All right, let's get into another story here.
Oh my god, I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be one of those people that cry on TikTok. But I just quit my job. And so let's say I'm a female and I have breasts and I have them pierced. And I go to work without, you know, a bra, because I shouldn't have to wear a bra. And I understand if you want me to take the piercings out because it's, I don't know, unprofessional. But my manager, she told somebody else to tell me, you know, hey, wear a bra, like, but she said, oh, the kitchen has been talking about, the guys in the kitchen has been talking about it, and it's distracting them. The guys in the kitchen, like, that's like, oh, your shoulders are showing, the guys are distracted, you need to cover up. And you know what, that didn't sit right with me. Because I understand if it was like, oh, the customer is unprofessional for the customers and they're complaining. No, the guys are distracted in the kitchen. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to her because I don't feel like that's right. Sorry. And then so I talked to her. I was like, hey, I don't understand if it's distracting for the guys, and I don't know. And she fucking freaked out and she was like, you know what, this is weird to talk about. And I was like, why? You're a woman, I'm a woman, we both have breasts. And she was like, what is distracting, and we shouldn't even be talking about this. I don't leave the house without a bra. And I was like, okay, that's you. And she was like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, you shouldn't go to work without a bra. And I'm like, I'm a female. I don't have to wear a bra. I shouldn't have to wear a bra. I'll take out the piercings if you want me to. She was like, I'm not even looking down there. Like, I don't want to see that. That's weird. I was like, how's it weird? And then, you know, and then she was like, well, you can go if you don't want to wear a bra. I said, okay. She said, you can go home now. I said, okay. I'll go home now. And she was like, yeah, get the fuck out of my face. I said, bitch, shut the fuck up. And I made a scene in the restaurant, which I should have done, but, like, am I crazy? Like, we have to wear bras? Like, we have to wear bras as a female? Like, that's... Sorry. She was like, everybody's talking about you, and I was like, I don't care. And she was like, clearly you don't care. And it's just weird. Like, as a woman, why is it weird to talk about, you know, putting on a bra? Why is that weird? And as a manager, I would tell the guys in the kitchen to fucking mind their own business and do their own job. I don't know. Am I crazy?
So I don't know the rules of wearing a bra and not wearing a bra. I don't know. Maybe she should look into that, because she was in uniform, and I don't know, like, it was a restaurant. I mean, I don't know the rules on that, but yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I mean, I get it on both sides, but it's a weird thing to fire someone over. I would think, like, maybe you can talk to them about wearing one and then see where y'all go from there. But legally, I mean, if she had an issue, the employee, I think she should research it. But it's a restaurant job, girl. Go get another one. Let's get into a funny firing.
Thank you for calling Geico Emergency Roadside. My name is Sherrod. How can I assist you today?
Hey, I need a tow, man. My car stopped working, man.
All right, I do have that policy number. Which vehicle are you in?
You should know which vehicle I'm in. You should know that. Y'all should know that.
I'm sorry, it's more than one vehicle on the policy.
Man, I'm in the 2012 Volkswagen Jetta, man.
Okay, where are you located?
Y'all can't track me down. I ain't got time to give you all that damn information.
I'm sorry, sir. I have to have all this information so I can send someone to assist you.
Y'all just, boy, they ain't hire anybody. Y'all just ignorant.
Hey, you talking real crazy for somebody that got all their information right in front of me. I'm just saying, you don't even know me. I got your address and everything, fam. I'm just saying, you don't know that about me. I gave you my middle name. You don't even know that about me. I can come spray your shit up. Yeah, this ain't none of that. Pipe down, fam. Calm down, fam. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, fam.
I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, now, where you at?
333 Cherry Street.
Hey, well, that's so hard.
That's funny. And you know what? Like, for real, like, how come we can't just... Sometimes customers just need to, like, they just need to, like, sometimes the customer service, and of course you have to have a level of customer service, of course. When sometimes people are so irrational, like, when they call you, you don't have the information. Like, number one, there's a thing called verification. Like, a person can't just call. That means anybody could call in and make changes to your account if we don't verify you. And people get super irritated about that. People get irritated about the most craziest things. And sometimes I think we should just be like, look, do you understand why we have to do this? I get you're frustrated, but like, me personally, I've worked in customer service. I understand. I've had bad customer service where people constantly hang up on you when you call and all this stuff. But it's like, I don't take it out on the person unless they're just being super rude. But it's really not that person's fault, like, most of the time. I've had some bad customer service for sure, but when they have to get verification and things like, where are you, stuff like that, don't be difficult, people. They can't find you. As much as in your mind you think your OnStar is going to pinpoint exactly where you are, even 911 has to ask where you are. So, yeah, good luck to all those out there. Hopefully some of these firing tips helped you. And you know, there's an old saying, you were looking for a job when you got that one. And we all know, like, you know, things happen in life. So keep your head up, keep going. And yeah, F is for family is signing off. And the F does not stand for fire, because you are going to be hired.